Well, 35 hours straight of paddling in a kayak.
Sounds tough. Just ask the 4 Utah men who recently completed the feat.
Tonight we take you inside the story of the Cuba kayak adventure. Dan Rascon joins us now. And Dan, sounds like it was not an easy adventure by any stretch of the imagination.
Not easy at all there, Mark and Sean. 124 miles and a straight day and a half of paddling without sleep. Imagine that. Well, that's how long it took to kayak from Havana, Cuba to the Florida Keys. And 4 Utahns become some of the first kayakers to complete such a trip. A new day in the Caribbean country of Cuba as the U.S. raises its flag in Havana for the first time in more than 50 years. And there to experience a historic change,
oh, it's the most amazing thing.
Davis Smith,
People just don't believe it.
Rawley Nielsen,
It feels amazing.
Jordan Allred,
It was a difficult
and
task.
Stephan Jacob, 4 Utah entrepreneurs who took adventure to a new extreme in the sport of kayaking. A 35-hour, 124-mile nonstop paddle from Havana, Cuba to Key West, Florida. The first ever kayakers to cross these waters.
Arms were tired, abs were tired, the entire body was tired.
The group arrived in Cuba on September 5th. 4 men joined 6 more kayakers from other states to make the historic trip. But it wasn't just about kayaking.
It's a beautiful country.
Davis Smith, the organizer, runs a new outdoor gear company called Cotopaxi that he says is also built on trying to help people. And he thought Cuba was a perfect place to do that.
It was a way to build relations between our 2 countries. And when we were in Cuba, the Cuban government received us with open arms.
The men spent a week exploring and meeting with
It was
entrepreneurs.
just fascinating to see the positivity and the hope that many of these entrepreneurs shared with us to really make a better future for themselves.
I've never met a group of people that were so loving, so accepting.
The government even threw a press conference.
One of the government officials told us, he's like, when you're tired at night, when your body hurts, keep paddling for us.
On Friday, September 11th at 11 a.m., they left Havana. That's when the vacation was over.
40 hours seemed like an eternity on the water.
As you can tell, these kayaks are not the most comfortable ride.
As you can see, looking down into one of these fiberglass boats, there's not a lot of room.
You can only imagine what it'd be like spending 35 hours in one of these.
Actually, just sitting in the same position in a kayak for that many hours, I mean, your knees, your feet, everything really hurts.
And that night, a huge storm set in with 6-foot swells. It was so dark, no one could see each other.
In the chaos of the storm and being so close to the boat, our boat ended up bumping against the side of the support boat and then ended up getting sucked underneath it.
The kayak was busted in half and sank to the bottom of the ocean.
It was very scary. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Fortunately, no one was hurt, and the crew had brought a spare. The next day, Saturday the 12th at 10 o'clock at night, they arrived at their destination, exhausted yet overwhelmed with joy.
Oh, it's the most amazing thing. But you couldn't even stand. I mean, we were so wobbly, but it was just the most amazing feeling, and knowing that no one had done it before was pretty cool.
Yeah, quite the adventure there. The men say they have a whole new appreciation for those Cubans who make that death-defying trip in a homemade raft trying to get to America. They had 2 boats, two support boats, food, water, and GPS, and still it was an incredibly difficult task, especially in shark-infested waters. For a link to their adventure and more Inside the Stories, go to our website, KUTV.com, click on Features, and Inside the Story. But 35 hours straight, that's a long time.
Quite a long time.
Yeah, you buried the lead, shark-infested waters. That caught my attention.
Okay.